So I was suddenly, a couple of days later, I was on a plane on my way to Serbia, ready to have my entire body cast in clay. So that was sort of baptism of fire into the world of broken birth for me.
Yeah, you didn't even like 2 days. Doesn't even have time to like really get cut and like
No,
really.
no, none of that. There was no boot camp. No.
Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watcher Pass. Today I'm talking to Jay Taylor, the star of Broken Bird, which is coming to UK cinemas on August 30th, 2024. I'm going to talk to him right now. And while you're watching, if you can like, subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. I'll spend a lot. Thank you. So, thanks so much for joining me today. I've got Jay Taylor, the star of Broken Bird, which is coming to UK cinemas on August 30th, 2024. It is a strange, kind of grotesque, but also whimsical and fun horror movie. It has a fantastic cast, a really great style, and a couple shocking twists along the way. Jay's character plays an important part. He is, part living, part dead in it, and it's you have to watch the movie to kind of see how that relates. But it is a fascinating movie. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was, very unique and very fresh. So I'm very excited to talk to you, and thanks so much for joining me.
Oh, pleasure. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed it.
Of course, of course. I mean, I didn't really know how to feel at the start. I was like, do I like this? Do I not? Like, I'm not sure, but it is definitely a strange movie. It's definitely kind of a unique looking film.
Yeah, it's an odd one. I was saying to someone earlier, I think it is unique, and I think it is quite rare to see something that's like genuinely unusual and different, and sort of charts territory that perhaps hasn't been charted in film before. Maybe because people are are a little unnerved by it, but I think it's kudos to Joe Mitchell, the director, and Don Brunt, the co-writer, that I think they've really gone somewhere quite unusual with it, which is great.
Yeah, no, for sure. Especially, like you said, it's always fun to have something that's different and like can't really be put into a box. It is definitely a
Yeah,
film that will hopefully be your first time seeing this kind of a movie. So,
yeah, exactly. Hope so.
so speaking of the film, how did you get involved in this movie? How did this kind of like come across your desk?
It came across my desk because I've worked with Joe and Dom before. I mean, they've been obviously like long-time collaborators, and I'd worked in two films that Dom had directed previously, that were like smaller scale, smaller budget, very sort of independent, low budget cinema, both in the kind of horror, psychological kind of genre. I've gotten really well with them, but then and we'd stayed in touch. And then Joe sent me a text actually just saying, oh, I've got this project. I wondered if you'd be interested. And I said, yeah, of course. And she said, oh, because we've got these producers, and so you'll have to do a tape. And I said, oh, of course I'll do a tape. No problem. And did this tape, didn't think anything of it, forgot about it. And then a couple of weeks later, I got a call saying, yeah, you got it, and they need you to be in Serbia in like 2 days. And I was like, oh, okay. So the reason for that was because there is obviously, as you've seen, some like prosthetics in the film, and quite a lot of prosthetics, and they had to do a full cast of my body, and that was quite an experience. So I was suddenly, a couple of days later, I was on a plane on my way to Serbia, ready to have my entire body cast in clay. So that was sort of baptism of fire into the world of broken birth for me.
Yeah, you didn't even like 2 days. Doesn't even have time to like really get cut and like
No,
really.
no, none of that. There was no boot camp. No.
Yeah, I can imagine like if they're gonna make a full cast of my body, like okay, like 3 months out, let me
Yeah,
first work on my chest, and then then
exactly.
I'll cut the abs out.
I'll hire a PT. I'll get a nutritionist. No, there was none of that. It was like you're going and your body's going to be what it's going to be. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, yeah, that's that's acting. I guess you gotta always be ready, right?
it is always ready. And removes the vanity from it, I suppose, as well.
Yeah. So, what was it like seeing yourself, like seeing your cast, your body? Was it cathartic? Was it was it were you like your own worst critic? What was that like?
It's so weird. Because I saw it once I'd gone back to set. I think it was like a couple of weeks into filming. They'd finished doing the sort of the makeup and the hair, and they even, I have like stubble, and they even put the stubble on the face and punched it in, and it was so weird. And I sent photos to my friends and family, and they were just like freaking out. Obviously, I told them beforehand. I didn't just send them a picture of a corpse. I was like, this is not me. This is a sort of dummy. But the detail was incredible, and it's a very, very surreal experience seeing, yeah, essentially your own dead body. Very
Yeah.
weird.
I can imagine that would be kind of a shock. Like Joe goes to Serbia. Now I get this picture of a corpse. Like, what is the next thing that's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah, yeah,
happen?
yeah, exactly. Very, very strange. Yeah.
When you were making the prosthetic, were there certain body parts that you were like, you could like make that a little bigger. You could pump that up a little.
Yeah.
I was just curious. I was like, that amount of vulnerability is
Yeah, no,
hats off to you.
they were like, look, it's totally up to you. We can do it either like completely like naked, or you can like wear pants, and then we can just like make something. And I was like, yeah, let's do the latter. So I did that, and then like on set, the guy that did it, he's coming and he's like, you like what we did? And I was like, yeah, you guys did a good job. I mean, this fucking massive thing. I was just like, that is not me, but I appreciate the effort. So thank you.
You know what? It's memorialized. It's you.
But this is it. This is it. That's what I tell people from
It's
now
on the
on.
screen.
Absolutely.
So like, and in those scenes, like there are so the scenes where you are like being worked on, was that all the corpse? Was there some parts where you like were in there and they like put you under the table? Like were all those scenes like the prosthetic, or were you also
It
in
was
some of
a
them?
it was a mix of the two. Mostly it was the prosthetic. The reason for which is that I mean, as they discovered, I think when Joe was making the short film version of this, they discovered that it's very hard for an actor to stay still enough for the close-ups. Even if you just get a slight tremor, it shows on camera. So they were keen to have that, and then have me made up with some of the wounds and things in preparation for just small moments. Like there's that moment when I sort of essentially sort of come back to life and do a sort of dance sequence with Sybil. That obviously, like, I had to be made up to look the same, but most of it was the prosthetic, and they all seem to think that the prosthetic was a surprisingly good actor. So I'm a little bit upset by that, but I think he's done me out of a job there, to be honest.
You know what? Your IMDb profile just has you, so like, work smarter, not harder, right?
This is it. This is it. Exactly.
And so this film, like I said, it has a whimsical tone. Like it has these very dark, kind of not, grotesque is the wrong word, like dark, like grim, aesthetic. But then there's also these like fun,
Yeah.
beautiful, bright sequences. What was it like going between those? Because your character was also very different in the real world versus the kind of like whimsical world. What was it like, kind of switching that mentality?
Yeah, I mean, I really like this sort of. I think whimsical was a really, really good description of it, and I think I like the slight absurdity and the because Sybil's fantasy idea of a man or romance is so old-fashioned and sort of childlike, and I think that's the part of it. It should be whimsical. It should be like a little girl playing dress up almost, and thinking about this kind of Prince Charming and this kind of perfect little family life that a child has of with playing with her dolls. The difference is the dolls that she's playing with are human bodies, and she's never evolved beyond the trauma she experienced as a child. So it was strange moving between them, and I mean I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel awkward at times in a tux and with my hair in this really weird hairstyle dancing, and it was awkward, but Rebecca Calder is an absolutely brilliant actor and so easy to work with, and I really enjoyed it. And we had we had someone come and do some movement work with us and do some intimacy coordination. It was brilliantly handled, and it was actually in the end a really, really enjoyable experience.
That's awesome. And I was gonna ask, like, I just talked to Rebecca. She seems lovely, but what was she like? Switching between characters. I imagine she was able to like switch it on and off, but I don't know. I don't know if she maybe stayed in Sybil's character for extended periods of time. Maybe it took her a little bit to like shed that. What was it like working with Rebecca?
Yeah, I mean, she didn't. I would say Rebecca works extremely hard. She's one of the hardest working actors I've ever worked with, and it was really inspiring. She did so much detailed work because the character is so unusual and so sort of mercurial and flits between these moments of sort of sensitivity and moments of mania. And I think there's such a complexity to the character that she had to really, really bring a full range of work to the character. But off camera, she's just great, and she's a laugh, and we got on very well. We had some big chats about a lot of stuff, and I really, really enjoyed working with her. No, I mean, she wasn't doing that thing, that kind of method thing of staying in character. I mean, I always think, if it works for some people, great. It's never been my thing, but yeah, I guess it's just horses for courses, and Rebecca's much more fun than that. She's a good laugh.
Yeah, perfect. And I was gonna ask like what the mood on set was like, because I could see it being a couple ways, but it sounds like the mood on set was like fun and exciting and lighthearted, even though you were surrounded by your own dead body and other various prosthetic bodies.
It was great. It was great, and it was a really. And I have to sort of do a big shout out to the whole team, like the creative team, most of whom were Serbian. They were absolutely brilliant and worked so hard. All of the HODs, all of the departments, the whole crew were just brilliant, brilliant. And like Igor Marovic, the cinematographer, is like a bit of a genius. And I think the light and the cinematography is gorgeous in the film. I really enjoyed that. And yeah, it was great on set. I mean, the only time that it wasn't great was when I had food poisoning for like a few days. And it's normally like 24 hours of that. And we had these night shoots, and I was made up to look dead. And like, when I turned up in May hair and makeup, they were like, I don't think we need any makeup. You look terrible. And I was like, I feel dreadful. I'd just been like vomiting and also, it was bad. So apart from those few days, it was great.
The dedication to your craft to actually almost die to play a dead
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
That is, hats off.
I really went for it. Yeah, and I said I'm not a method actor. I take it back. I was. I went for it. Yeah.
That is it sounds terrible, but also it's great. Like it's great that you were able to kind of like shed
Use
some
it.
weight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Look like a corpse for a bit. Yeah, absolutely.
um, and one thing I was curious, your character, a motorbike in the UK, uh, plays a key role. Did you actually even get to ride the bike, or?
No, no, unfortunately not. I mean, I was hoping I would get my kind of Steve McQueen moment, but no. I think from insurance point of view, it's too difficult and dangerous. So no, they just they had someone else doing the motorbike stuff. But I'm not sure if it's made it into the film. I think there is some footage, but it's a stunt driver.
I don't remember if it actually was in the film. I remember seeing the bike and then
Yeah.
seeing your character come in. So I don't know if that actually made it into the film. So maybe for a future
Yeah.
film, you can get your Steve McQueen moment.
Maybe one day, one day.
And I'm also curious, what happened to Dead Joe? Do you have Dead Joe, or did he like go into some creepy props department?
Dead Joe. Say,
Sorry, Dead Jay.
oh, a DJ. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where he went actually. Like, I think, I think he is probably still at the place where they did like the prosthetics. I think they generally keep things for like examples to show. They had a bunch when I was having mine done. They had like a bunch on the wall. So I think he's probably there, which is kind of weird to think about. There's just like my head and body lying in someone's office somewhere. But yeah, they did say like, we could arrange it if you wanted to like keep it. And I was like, that would be so weird. I mean, I could, get it out and surprise my friends and family when they come around, but no, it's probably in an office in Serbia somewhere, spooking someone up.
I mean, that is like the perfect Halloween decoration.
Yeah.
I think maybe you should arrange to get that back.
I know. I should have done. Yeah. Yeah. I've got
uh,
some good photos though.
yeah, exactly. And now that the film is over, what therapy are you in to come back from this dark place that you were in?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely one to take to the therapist's office. I mean, it's interesting because it's like I was saying, I do think the themes of the film are sort of like they are universal in as much as like the idea of seeking something that you like, trying to replicate behavior, trying to replicate and the idea of something, and trying to put a family back together. Like I think that's just like basic sort of what people do. I mean, people spend a lot of money in psychoanalysis trying to undo that work. It's just that people probably don't do it with corpses and things like that. They probably just do it in unhealthy relationships. But I think that those themes are universal, and I think that's stuff that Joe and Dom are getting at with the film.
I never thought I would say I hope they do it in unhealthy relationships, but yeah, given the choice of
Yeah.
corpses and
Yeah.
unhealthy relationships is the better option.
Exactly. Lesser of two evil. Yeah.
So I know we have limited time. I'm going to switch to a lightning round. They're just lightweight questions about the film. I want to see how your personal experiences map to things in the movie. Feel free to skip any of them. I will not be offended, but I try to keep them very answerable.
Sure.
First question: do you have any taxidermy animals?
I do not. No, not really my vibe. Just one animal. I've got a dog, a Shiba
Okay.
Inu.
And alive and healthy and
Alive and well. Yeah. Yeah.
okay,
Touch wood.
perfect.
Yeah.
Sybil's character writes poetry. Have you ever written poetry?
I have. Yeah. Yeah. None of it that has ever seen the light of day. And it will hopefully remain that way.
Well, you know what? When you pass in years and years, you can have Dead Joe there or Dead Jay there, so you can like see what you look like. You can have your
Yeah.
poetry. You can have a whole kind of setup.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave it to someone in my will, and then they can try and get it published posthumously.
And Dead Jay will be left in your will also to someone.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. That will just get delivered, without a note, just in the post in a huge box. No, no, no note whatsoever. I think that's the way to do it.
That would be a fun surprise, or well, it would be a surprise. I don't know if it'd be fun.
Good surprise. Yeah, yeah.
So your character rode a motorcycle. Have you ever ridden a motorcycle?
Only a sort of Vespa kind of, and actually like I had an accident on one in Barcelona when I was about 25, 26. Yeah, I came off and like hurt my arm pretty badly, and I've still got a scar. It's actually like the only kind of bad touch wood, the only scar that I've got so far.
Oh wow. Wow, yeah.
Ha-
No, that's they say when you ride a motorcycle, it's not like when you or if you get in an accident, it's when because
Yeah,
it is a dangerous
absolutely.
sport.
Yeah, which is why I
Um this film involves some like large, we'll call them dolls, large stuffed things. What is the largest doll or stuffed animal that you have?
What do I have? I don't think I have anything resembling that. Um, no, I don't have anything stuffed. I don't have any stuffed dolls, don't have any teddy bears, anything like that. I definitely had one when I was a kid, but I lost it. There's a quite a famous story my parents constantly tell about me losing my little teddy bear when I was about 7. And like I don't think they heard the end of it for about a year.
That's I mean there are entire movies made about
Yeah,
that
I
kind
know.
of a traumatic sequence. So
There you go. There you go.
this film involves Sybil having a fairly strange job, not a normal job. What is the strangest job that you've had?
Strangest job that I've had. Uh, I mean, I've done some pretty strange acting jobs, to be fair. Like, I've done, I mean, I went through a phase of doing jobs where I just got killed constantly in a variety of different ways. I was like blown up with a flare gun. I was like sh speared with like a thrown a spear through the chest. I was shot. I was drowned. I just had this sequence of like getting killed, and my friends all got like they found it so funny. They used to said I got a website called deadactor.com because I was just like, hi. And lots of weird stuff like having to be like naked on stage when I've been done doing stage plays in a very, very small room. And then when my family and friends came, that was very, very embarrassing and intimate. But yeah, I mean that's the strangest job I've ever done, I think. Is having to do that. And no other job, I don't think, would you have to be naked in front of your entire family.
Yeah, no, and I do love that all those strange jobs prepared you for this movie. Like getting
Yeah.
killed multiple times, being naked, all of
There
that
you go.
prepared you for this role.
This is it. It was all preparation for Broken Bird. Absolutely.
A long, long journey.
Yeah.
This might be this is a very American question, but have you seen the music video for Mary Jane's Last Dance by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers?
I have not.
Okay. Rebecca had neither. It was such a big video for me growing up. It's a video where like Tom Petty plays like a mortician and he's like preparing his like dead girlfriend, I think, and like treating her like a real person. And
Right.
this movie reminded me so much of that video, so I was just
Oh my
curious.
God. Oh, we should have seen that in preparation for the film.
Yeah, and it's a good song too. So you get kind of like a beautiful song and a strange video.
Okay, I'll check it out for sure.
Perfect. And the last question is, when was the last time you had Battenberg cake?
That is such a rogue question. I like Battenberg cake, but I haven't had it for a long time. I have a slightly unhealthy relationship with sugar. I'm currently like 2 months off of cakes and biscuits and refined sugar. But when did I last have it? I'd say maybe like a couple of years ago.
That that is a good long time. Did you have any at the filming itself, or was
No, I didn't get any. I mean, like, and I did eat all of the other sugar that was available, but I didn't get any Battenberg cake. It's such a rogue inclusion. I think there's an Easter egg there from like Joe and Dom, like, and Dom coming from the north and it being, I don't know what exactly where it derives, but it's something to do with that, I think.
yeah, for sure. I to full confession, I had to Google it. I had no idea what it was. I had to like go back, rehear what they said, and then Google it to see what it was. So
So it's so rogue. I
yeah.
mean, like, so weird because I wasn't involved in any of that stuff in the filming and I'd forgotten it. And then I'm like, it's so weird, but it's also sort of brilliantly novel, sort of iconic moment.
Yeah, who knows? And I think Joe had to like fly that back from the UK when she came back to like have it in the film because they didn't have it in Serbia. So
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine it's easy to get hold of in Serbia or anywhere out of the UK, frankly.
A nice little slice of home in the middle of the filming.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
So the film is coming out on August 30th, 2024. You are out promoting the film, getting the word out. But after people see Broken Bird, what can they look for next from you?
Mainly like theatre stuff at the moment. It's like I'm back sort of working on some theatre projects. And also potentially some like writing projects of my own because I'm like a sort of aspiring writer director. So I'm working on a couple of projects that I'm developing. Hopefully filming something in the spring next year. But a lot of sort of TBC at the moment.
All right. Well, you can look forward to those future projects going to theater, seeing Jay in real life. But before that, check out Broken Bird coming to UK cinemas on August 30th, 2024. This is Jay Taylor. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Nice to
Awesome,
see you.
thank you. That was Jay Taylor, the star of Broken Bird, which is coming to UK cinemas on August 30th, 2024. It is a strange, unsettling, but also kind of whimsical horror thriller. It has a fantastic cast, a really good style, and some shocking twists along the way. If you like this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.